Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for October the 21st of 2020. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry. Hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week, it is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. Now you guys know me, and you knew that we would talk about it. Halo the Master Chief Collection's Xbox Series X and S upgrade will run at 120 FPS this November. Launching on November the 17th, the optimized next-gen version will run at 120 FPS in campaign and multiplayer, and at up to 4K on the Xbox Series X. Available free to existing owners and Game Pass subscribers, the next-gen upgrade will also offer cross-gen play and adjustable FOV. 343 Industries is planning to launch cross-play support for Halo the Master Chief Collection later this year, enabling Xbox and PC users to play together. The feature will arrive alongside input-based matchmaking and server region selection. Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S will launch on November the 10th. They will be backward compatible with existing Xbox One games and accessories, including backward compatible 360 and original Xbox titles, which will look and play better than ever before, according to Microsoft. Very exciting stuff here. Now, when it comes down to it, this is essentially a collection of games that are all between 8 and nearly 20 years old. They're expected to run very well. If you look at the graphics of Halo Combat Evolved, this is not a graphically intensive game. Even if you look at something like Halo 4 that came out on the Xbox 360, you can still have a pretty good level of expectation when it comes to how they're going to run on next-gen hardware. So, with that being said, it looks like all of the big games from the Master Chief Collection are going to be running at up to 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. Very impressive stuff here. I want to come out and say, don't expect Halo Infinite to necessarily run at 120 FPS. It is entirely possible, but I don't want to set up this expectation that all Halo games are going to be incredibly well optimized, because at the end of the day, these are very old games that are running on very new hardware. So, with that being taken into account, this is a very important upgrade that is coming out this holiday season, and it wouldn't be as important if we did not have this giant gap that is left by Halo Infinite not being in the release lineup. Because if you look at the back of the Xbox Series X branding box, if you look at all of the marketing materials, if you look at the Monster Energy promotion that's going on, Halo was a big part of the Xbox Series X and remains a big part of it today. And so you need to be able to have a phenomenal experience ready and waiting for players. And it looks like that's exactly what is happening. I'm surprised that there is no word about any kind of upgrade for Halo 5 Guardians. That seems like it's going to be kind of the bookmark between now and the time that Halo Infinite does come out. But at the very least, we do have the Master Chief Collection, which is probably the game that I played the most over the summer. I played a lot on the Xbox One X. I played a lot on PC. I continue to play a lot today, including the Halo 4 PC test flight, which is now live. After being delayed for a few days, the first official test flight for Halo 4 on PC has gone live, with players reporting that they have received invites to the flight and are accessing the new test build. Based on a cheeky tweet from 343 Industries community manager John Jushik, it looks like the developer is officially confirming the arrival of the flight. We previously reported on details about this flight given out by 343, which included the type of content that would be included in it as well as how many people would be invited to the flight. Specifically, players can enjoy 5 campaign missions, 12 Spartan Ops missions, and 11 multiplayer maps, and everyone who signed up for the Halo Insider program will be invited to participate in the flight. Make sure to check your inbox on Halo Waypoint if that is you, and if you have not gotten an invite yet, you probably will soon, since 343i has traditionally sent out invites in waves. If you have not signed up for the Halo Insider program yet, we highly recommend that you do. You will most likely be able to participate in testing out future Halo 4 flights, and the process is completely free. Therefore, there's really no reason to not sign up. After all, why not help test out Halo on PC while waiting for Halo Infinite? So if you do want to check out Halo 4 on PC, it looks like it's coming very soon, and of course the test flight is now live for those insiders. I love Halo 4. I know that I've said it before, and I know that it's not everyone's favorite Halo, but the game is gorgeous. In my opinion, it's probably how Halo Infinite should look. I'm a big fan of it. On top of that, the gameplay itself is very tight. Probably my favorite multiplayer from the Halo universe. Very fun. I just really enjoy it. And so when this does launch in the Master Chief Collection on PC, honestly, anything else that's coming out in that time frame, and yes, I mean anything else, literally there are tons of games coming out, but I mean anything else, I'll probably end up at least giving the campaign a good playthrough, and then after that, a good many multiplayer missions. Very big fan of Halo 4. So if you do want to dive in, coming to PC very soon. Now moving on to some PlayStation news, a new Sucker Punch job listing requests a writer with knowledge of feudal Japanese history. Sucker Punch Productions has opened a new job listing on its corporate website, which has unsurprisingly set tongues wagging, that's a strange one to say, with excitement about the studio's mystery project. The studio is looking for a narrative writer and specifically asked that ideal candidates have AAA open world experience, as well as desire to write stories set in feudal Japan. Knowledge of feudal Japanese history is also listed as a positive boon. While this job listing is obviously no confirmation of anything in particular, it is hard not to get excited about the obvious possibility here that Sucker Punch is in the pre-production stages of a Sly Cooper adventure set in the 12th century Kyoto. At least that's the way that I'm taking it, the author says. No, this is absolutely going to be a Ghost of Tsushima sequel of some kind, and it makes sense because Ghost of Tsushima was an incredibly popular game for the summer and has defined itself very quickly as one of the biggest games of the PlayStation 4 generation. And so to see it coming into PlayStation's future outside of the PlayStation 4 lifecycle just makes sense. So it looks like that is what Sucker Punch is going to be doing. Anybody wanting an Infamous return looks like they're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but who knows? There could be multiple teams working on multiple projects. Now we have a confirmation that was kind of up in the air for a while. Dirt 5 will be available for PlayStation 5 on November the 12th, and it supports a free upgrade from PS4. Recently, it was officially revealed by Codemasters that Dirt 5 will be available on PS5 on November the 12th. The game's original release date is November the 6th, but it will be available for the Series X and S on the 10th. Similar to the Xbox version, Dirt 5 will support a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5. Running at 120 FPS at 4K resolution, Dirt 5 will benefit from the unique features of the DualSense controller in various tracks and racing conditions. Moreover, the PlayStation 5 version will have much faster loadings, and you will be able to play online with PS4 players thanks to the cross-generational support. Dirt 5 is going to be Codemasters' biggest hit for the year after F1 2020. The developers have tried to add some new elements to the game and bring back the arcade-style racing from Dirt 3. According to the developers, Dirt 5 will feature a revolutionary career mode with a storyline that has been voice acted by Troy Baker and Nolan North. Have you heard of those guys before? Probably. The new member of the Dirt family will have an event-based career mode this time around, in which you travel around the world, take part in multiple races with distinct weather and track conditions, and grab vehicles from various classes. Some of the events and vehicles have already been revealed through the gameplay trailers of the game. PS5's haptic feedback and adaptive triggers will be supported by many upcoming next-gen games. According to those who have had the chance to test the DualSense controller, the new features are so fun to use and have significant impacts on the overall experience you get from a game. Along with the new Dirt entry, PS5 will also get Destruction All-Stars at launch, which is an action-packed racing title. Here's my deal with Dirt 5, okay? Under normal circumstances, I would never actually be interested in Dirt 5 because I'm not a huge racing fan guy, but there are a couple of elements here that are really promoting this game in a big way as a big next-gen launch game. Number one, there's a huge Xbox push for Dirt 5. Number two, now you see it coming to PlayStation 5. So it's one of the few big launch games. And when I say few, there are a good many on both sides, but it's hard to find an exclusive, and this obviously is not an exclusive. It's coming out on old consoles and new consoles. So where does that set us? Ultimately, it sounds like it's going to be a really fun arcade racing game, and it's important to make it an arcade racing game because if you look at a game like Dirt 4, it is very much so a simulator kind of experience, in my opinion. It's not going to be as hardcore as some of these simulators out there, but it certainly does have a much more realistic approach. And with the arcade approach that it sounds like they're taking here, they are trying to widen it up and make this accessible to a lot of other players. Not to say that the other games aren't accessible, but it sounds like that is going to be a feature that is very much so kind of heralded here in Dirt 5. So hopefully this does end up being a very successful game. I'm sure that it will be, as nearly any game that is available on launch day normally is. But I'm excited to see this DualSense haptic feedback. That should be really interesting. That's a feature that I'm either going to be in love with and that every developer uses, or that gets used for the first 6 months of a console's life and then it just disappears into the ether. But using that DualSense, you can earn some trophies, and now the trophies will unlock avatar pictures, profile banners, and more. Trophy hunters look sharp. A new feature looks set to make the PS5 trophies even more valuable than they were on PS4. Plot twist, they weren't valuable. Over on the PlayStation 4, if you are diligent enough to unlock platinum trophies, you can unlock bonus themes and avatar pictures for your efforts. What? Hold on. This is a thing? I didn't even know this. I had no idea. I feel like I remember something very vaguely. That shows how many games I've platinumed, doesn't it? Never mind, I take back my small dig. Okay, apparently they were valuable. Typically, Sony sends an email to the account linked on your PSN, and then you can redeem rewards from there. The PS5 appears to make trophy-based rewards so much simpler to claim, and more common too. During the PS5 UI video that was shared by the company last week, eagle-eyed gamers have spotted certain trophies in Destruction All-Stars come tied to rewards. The Gold Trophy, recognized, seems to reward you with a profile avatar for your hard work, and the Bronze Rookie Trophy gives you a profile banner. In an upgrade to how it all worked on PS4, it seems we'll be able to unlock profile-based items on the actual console itself, and we'll also be able to claim bonus items from all tiers of trophies, not just the illustrious Platinums. This is only based on what we can see in the UI though. It is uncertain how many games will support this feature, and if third-party developers will make use of the system in the same way Sony games do. You can see these images embedded below. It is a nice extra incentive for those players who like to go on big trophy hunting missions and wrap up all the rewards in any given game. We look forward to seeing what kind of rewards will be put into the offer. You can earn them on November the 12th. Ultimately, here is what you've got. It looks like there are a couple of little profile avatar notes here. You can get a profile banner for one of these. This is, of course, a nice little incentive. Apparently, this is something that they're doing on the PlayStation 4 already if you go above and beyond. But it would be nice to have some kind of little incentive for you to come and earn trophies. They're really pushing trophies in a big way this time around. Of course, they've just revamped the entire trophy system. On top of that, you now have rewards, and you now have essentially a super fast SSD that lets you jump into a specific part of a game nearly instantaneously, so you can work on specific portions and the trophies that you're closest to earning. I think a lot more trophy hunters are going to be coming out of this upcoming generation on the PlayStation 5, and of course, as somebody who enjoys hunting trophies, that is very exciting for me. But to round out today's show, a follow-up on yesterday's story, 2K was under fire for adding unskippable in-game ads to the full-priced version of NBA 2K21 1 month after release, but they suggested the ad placement was a mistake, and they promised a fix. In a statement issued on Twitter, 2K said the ad that sparked a backlash earlier this week impacted our players' experience in a way we did not intend, and these ads are not meant to run as the pre-game introduction. 2K has promised this will be fixed in a future episode of 2K TV. So again, here is the full statement if you did want to give it a quick read. As many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday's 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way we did not intend, as these ads are not meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction. This will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback. You can't look me in the eye and tell me that you accidentally designed a UI and put it into the game, and then you put ads into that UI. That's not how it works. This was purposeful. Don't lie. You wanted to see how far you could go, and now you went too far, and now you're getting some kickback. So with that being said, it is nice to see it's getting fixed. This is not something I would ever run into because you guys know I don't play sports games. But if you do, it looks like NBA 2K21 is going to get a bit of a fix later on. We'll see how much of a fix it actually is. My feeling is that it probably won't be much of a fix at all. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about everything we talked about here today. But specifically, how do you feel about Halo the Master Chief Collection getting that next gen upgrade, or are you looking forward to Dirt 5 on the PS5? Would love to see your thoughts. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.